Hi there, Sudhir Pai, CTO, Financial Services, Capgemini, and pleased to have here Steph, who is the brain behind this whole paradigm shift program. I think Steph, we initially met maybe in March.
Yeah, it was a long time
ago.
ago. Long time
And
ago.
it's been a 6 months plus journey, and I know you really had the vision for this and how this has to go and how this has to reach the milestone. So, what's been your experience, and talk to us about how is the journey been till finals?
Yeah, so actually you're right. It was about 6 months ago, and that was when Sumitra was still a little baby. How he has evolved since then. But I have to say, it is not just my vision. It is really the vision of Stephanie Chu, who is the head of C2E at DBS, as well as Bityu Dumra, who is the head of innovation, and Royce, the head of CBG, Consumer Banking Business Analytics. And so we're really, truly blessed that all three different teams were really aligned in pursuing this journey for better solutions. And the original intent was looking at exponential solutions. So I guess we're really fortunate that you guys came on board because it would not have been where it is today without you guys. So the journey has been long. It's been really fun. We did the first 2 phases of a total of 3 phases virtually. And originally the finals were supposed to be virtual as well. But because we've seen such great outcomes out of the first 2 phases, we basically decided that why don't we just bring these people over, meet them in person, interact with them, and get them to go out to the streets of Singapore and interact with customers. So that's how everything came about. But again, I cannot stress enough that without the support of the partners, this would absolutely not have been possible.
Thank you, Steph. And I would see a number of uniqueness in this program. First of all, it has always been customer centric. The themes that in the beginning itself we are visualizing. Okay, let's think about consumers of the future and hyper personalization, digital altering, all those themes that are well aligned to millennials, Gen Z, type consumers. Second, I think it is a global program by all means. Looked at the number, 67 countries, 2,500 registration. Plus, I guess you also thought about in the beginning, how do we outreach to universities? I still remember. And it's a bit unique. Normal hackathons do not address this market. So, how comfortable you are from here to the next wave of where will this idea go? What happens to the concepts, etc., and what's your plans around that?
Okay, we're actually going to see what happens today. What kind of insights they get from the customers, because I think that's really what's going to dictate the rest of the finals. Based on most essentially the desirability of the products, we'll see if this is something that's viable within the organization. But for now, anything can happen. And this is why we also decided to keep the prize pool really flexible, because we don't always believe in setting prizes and categories. We just think that it's whoever works the hardest and whoever really understands the customers that's going to win. So ultimately, it's providing the best value and benefits for the customers. But I thank you for outlining some of the themes that we were looking at, because I do remember one of our it was our very first conversation. I can still remember you, me, Sumitra in the room, and we were talking about categories versus themes versus topics and so on and so forth. And so we went back and forth on that. And in the end, we even adjusted along the way during the first phase in terms of what themes we wanted to guide the submissions on. So yeah, and then yes, of course, it's really exciting for us that this is our first global hackathon and that you're part of it.
Awesome. So. Any favorites?
I do. But I feel like I'm gonna curse them if I say it now. So, but no, there are definitely some really interesting ones. Now it's gonna come down to what the customers are saying. So we have our own opinions, and we're very inward looking that way, but we need to combine with the needs of the customers.
Awesome. Again, I guess this paradigm shift is a significant milestone in my view, and maybe because of these type of initiatives is what makes DBS as world's best bank and repeated recognitions. Maybe just as a closing thought, a bit broader from an innovation standpoint, and what are your next sort of priorities or initiatives that you have in mind?
Some of the initiatives I think is really to accelerate some of the concepts that we're getting within the bank and outside of the bank. So one of them is accelerating the proofs of concept, so that's one. Number two would be to further engage with the ecosystem. So whether it be with universities or with fintechs or with other corporations, such as yourselves. And thirdly is really to continue building the culture from within the bank to turn everyone into an innovator and possibly a product manager, so to have that mindset always.
Thank you, Steph. It's really a pleasure to be here today, and it's a pleasure to work with you.